Alright. Hey guys, this is Reaper. I'm coming back to you today to bring you the updated build for my DK tank. I may end up having to do two videos. One for just the regular content that you always do, and then one that shows you where the skills and the armor. There is a lot to go over in 60 minutes, so I'm going to try my best to get it all in. If I don't, I'm going to have to cut it down and trim it and go back over within the 60 minutes. So here we go. Now this one is just a regular basic setup. Let's go into our inventory first. Let's go from our food to go down. The food is bewitching sugar skulls that I use in all the trials and everything that I do in the harder content. The much easier content that I do, I run Orzargers or Orzorgers, whatever you want to call it, Red Frothgar. And especially I use this one in like Black Rose Prison, where you have to chain a lot. It adds to your magic recovery. Then you run your tri-stat pots. You can either make these or you can use them from the crown crates, crown store. As long as it is tri-stat, you will be fine. The actual tri-stat from the store, from the crown store, is actually more than the ones that you make. The other one, if you ever plan on doing VCR +3 or VCR, this one is one of them that you will use as the Essence of Health. It restores your health and your health recovery for 47 seconds, and then you restore so much health per second for 16 seconds. And it grants you major vitality, increasing your healing taken by 30%. So this is a good one that if you use if you're going into portals or you're holding Zamage at the execute phase. That is one of them that you need, and it uses powder mother of pearl, so it is a little bit more expensive, so you definitely want to use them as little as possible. And the other one that I use in VCR whenever I was the main tank doing Zamage, or I can use them now because I've got them quick slotted, is the Major Expedition, movement speed, the health per second, and major vitality. So this one is another one that is good to use in there. That way you can get from place to place real quick. If you're not a sword tank, if you're the sword tank, you will be using streak. So those are the pots that I use in the food. Alright, this is the regular main setup that I use on everything other than trials. You use Alkosh, any one-hand weapon that you want to use, your sword. Make sure it's sturdy and it's got stamina enchant. And all of my sets are basically gold. Most of them. The ones that are not gold is the ones that don't have to worry about being gold. So you need to make sure when you're golding out your sets that you want to get the benefit out of it being gold. So if the only thing that's going to go up with its gold is the armor rating. So you want to make sure that you get the ones that needs to be golded first, and then you could worry about the other ones eventually if you wanted them gold. That's your preference. And the back bar, the one-handed has got the weakening enchant. I started using decisive instead of infused because it gives you the ultimate gain. The back bar, which is I use the staff on the back bar. Some people use sword and board on front and back. But on your back bar, you want to make sure that your weapon enchant is crushing. And I've got mine infused. So that is one thing that you have to make sure, that your front bar is weakening, your back bar is crushing. Your front bar can have decisive, infused, whichever one that you want to have on it. It's your choice, but I just chose to go with decisive now, because it's better off for the tank to have one, for the ultimate gain, especially with your DK, because your sustain comes from your ultis, which is, we will talk about that a little bit later on. Alright, the monster helm set that I've started running is Lady Thorns. It comes from Stone Garden. The reason of this one, I'm pretty sure that it will end up being nerfed anyways, because it's actually really strong. And I do have this one. Whoop! My head is infused, and it is with a health enchant. This one allows you to burst, or it's got the burst heal, or hang on, sorry. It adds 1206 max health, and then casting ability that costs health, which is like balance or blood altar. You spawn a blood ball for 10 seconds. That blood ball, every time that you proc it, and you can only proc it every 30 seconds. So you could put your own synergy down to proc your Alkosh. So in my opinion, they're going to catch on to this sooner or later, and they're going to end up nerfing it, because you get this right here. It's 5,100 disease damage to all nearby enemies, and they apply major maim and damage done by 30%. But you can only do this every 30 seconds, like I said. So you've got this going off, and then when you proc your Alkosh, you're going to have all of that physical damage and everything that goes to the enemies that are in front of you. So every 30 seconds you could proc your own synergies as a tank. So with you proccing the own synergies and you proccing your Alkosh and the Lady Thorn together, it's going to be like a huge way that you can boost your DPSs. Yolnokrin, this comes from Vet Sunspire. This is the perfected versions of it. You could go with a regular version of it. I did for a while until I got through and got all of my perfected. But this one is another one that I have infused. I have Tri-Stat Glyph on the enchant. This one adds health, major ages, maximum stam, max health, and then when you taunt an enemy, you give yourself and 11 group members minor courage for 15 seconds, increasing their weapon and spell damage. So basically everything that you're wearing is going to increase your DPS's damage abilities because of the sets that you're wearing. But again, this one is the normal setup. Like if you want to go for more in-game, I'll be talking about that later on. The pauldrons are sturdy with health. Girdle, I've got sturdy health. Hands, sturdy health. Legs, infused with Tri-Stat. You can go either which way that you want to go. If you want to go sturdy, you could go sturdy. If you want to go with just health, you could go with health. I just chose this because it's better on me, and it gives me the stats. The feet are sturdy health. Now this is where it's going to get kind of tricky. I have the total of 4 different sets of jewelry for Alkosh, because this is the only thing that I wear on my jewelry and weapons is Alkosh. I've got Swift with Magic Recovery. I've got Harmony with Magic Recovery. I have Swift with Shock Resistance for Vast Hard Mode. The Harmony with Magic Recovery is for VCR. The Health with Mag Recovery is, I go all health and selfish if I'm going in a dungeon with a group that is not familiar with it without a healer. So I go a little bit more selfish if I have people that are not experienced with it. That's why I have Plague Doctor in my inventory, and that's why I use the Plague Doctor if I go in anywhere that does not have any experienced people with it and without a healer. That way they can learn the mechanics without the healing part, and they can do it on their own. And I don't judge people. I don't go, you know, I just don't do that. So, but you can have as many as the traits as you want to, but you need to have at least some of them. I mean, I have, like I said, I have all different kinds of jewelry, all different sets, but those are the ones that you're going to have is Swift, Harmony, Health. Some go infused. You know, I mean, it's whatever that you would like to, that you would prefer. But this is just the setup that I normally do every day. I've covered the food, I've covered your armor that you would wear just in regular dungeons. Your champion points, this is just a regular setup of champion points. Ironclad, we're going to start off with a red tree and the warrior. It is Ironclad 81. The steed. The lady, you have 56 hardy, 56 elemental, 66 thick skin, and then you have 11 recovery. And the lord, that is your red tree. Your green tree, I have 44 in warlord, 21 in sprinter. This is the tower. The lover is 32 tenacity, 64 arcanist. The shadow, 72 shadow ward, 37 tumbling. Alright, the blue tree, which is the apprentice, I have 75 blessed, 72 elfborn. You go over to the atronach, I have 59 staff expert, 59 physical weapon expert, and 5 at master at arms. And then the ritual is nothing. Now, like I said, this is a very basic setup that you can use in any dungeon that you go into, and you will be fine. Now, however, whenever you do go into a trial and you are a tank, especially tanks, now DPS and healers, they have to do theirs the same way. But this, I cannot stress this enough, guys. If you go into a vet trial, it does not matter if you do not think that you have to change your CP, that it will not matter. Yes, it does. So your red CP is the ones that you are going to change all the time. See, like whenever I go into Cloud Rest, instead of this being 56 right here in Hardy, it goes down to 27, and it goes over here into Quick Recovery to put it up to 32. And that is one thing that you have to make sure, is that you change your CP whenever you need to change it. Don't ever leave it the same. Okay. And I believe that is, the skills. The skills that I normally run is Green Dragon Blood. This is the front bar, which is your sword and board side. This is my sword and board side, should I say, because a lot use sword and board on front and back. So this is my front bar. I use Green Dragon Blood, Defensive Stance, Igneous Shield, Ransack, Heroic Slash, and normally this is Warhorn. Alright, my back bar, I have Unrelenting Grip, Overflowing Altar, Choking Talons, Inner Rage, Blockade, and either Barrier. You can do Barrier, you could do Magma Shell. Now, whenever you want to proc your Lady Thorn, like Blood Altar, and there is your little blood ball, and you pop it, you can see the black cloud come out from in front of you, and that is your Alkosh proccing on those enemies. So, like I said, you could do that, or in here in your defensive stance, let me go find it. You could do your balance if you don't have enough of the resistances, and it'll also proc your Lady Thorn, your monster set. And then you do it, and you've seen the black cloud come out in front of you. That is the Alkosh. And whenever you are doing any kind of content, you want to make sure that your Alkosh, when you proc your Alkosh, that is going in front of you and on the enemies in front of you. Don't turn this way and proc it, because whatever way that you turn to proc it, it's going to go that way. It's not going to go the front. It's going to go whatever way that you do it. So that is one thing that you want to make sure that you're doing, is aiming your Alkosh the correct way. Okay, so let's get a little more into detail in some of the rest of the armor that I use. Some of the rest of the armor that I use, as I've told you before, let's go to our daggers. Battalion Defender, I use it in some certain situations to where if I want to go selfish when I'm running with some of the other ones that are not as experienced as the ones that I run with every day. Of course, Alkosh is the #1 set to use on your weapons and jewelry. And Dragon is another one. You can use it in certain situations if you are an off tank and you want to build ultimate a little bit faster, so it reduces the cost of your ultimate abilities. So that is one that you would want to use to reduce the cost of them, to get your warhorns up quicker, to get, you know, to help with your resource management. Powerful Assault. I'm going to skip this one for right now. Because, in my opinion, with Powerful Assault, it does not need to be on weapons and jewelry anymore. Because medium armor tanking is a thing now. You're probably thinking, you're freaking crazy, man. I mean, you're freaking crazy. No, I'm not. Powerful Assault is one of them that is a medium armor set, and it is used for tanks. But I'll tell you that here in just a few. Torx Pact, I believe they said that got nerfed. I don't hardly use it anymore, but it is another starter set that you can start off with until you get your other ones. Olo, I need the jewelry for this one, but this will be used in 4-man content, like Black Rose Prison, areas like that, like VDSA, yada yada yada. And that is what you want to use whenever you are doing 4-man content without a healer. That is a good optimized group that knows what they're doing. Yelnakran. I've got the Yelnakran weapons and jewelry on every one of them. As you see that I have got the weapons and jewelry on most of the sets. Okay. Alright. Master's Mace Perfected. I'm going to go ahead and equip this one and show you why that I'm doing this. I'm going to leave my Alkosh there. And I'm going to leave this here. Alright, so whenever I do the VCR with a medium armor set, because y'all are probably thinking, you're freaking crazy, man. Powerful Assault is one of them that just recently started with, that has gone like out the wall with a DPS that it helps a lot. Let me change my stuff around and show you how to proc this. Alright, so I use it on my back, not purge. Oh lord, what am I doing? Echoing Vigor. Echoing Vigor is one of them that I put on my back bar to proc this. So when I proc this, that right there is the buff. That is how you are going to proc your PA. That's what we call Powerful Assault, is PA. So you want it on your weapons or your armor. Your armor, you could do it either which way. I went Reinforced because I am a more experienced tank. I consider myself more experienced anyways because I've been tanking for over 4 years. So when I first tried this, I was like, you know what, I'm going to get in here and I'm going to get clapped. You know, and yes, I did. I'm going to be completely honest. After I started tanking with it, I was like, what the F, man? Everybody, well, you got to be in it. You got to be it. I'm sitting here thinking, oh my god, I'm never going to freaking tank in medium armor. Yes, I am tanking in medium armor, guys. But I went Reinforced with all tri-stack glyphs. Reinforced. Infused. I went with infused legs with the tri-stats, and then but all the rest of it is reinforced. And then of course all of this other is the same. The reason I went with Master's Inferno or Master's Mace and Shield is because your Perfected gives you an extra 3% healing, and when you deal damage with a puncture, you heal for nearly 7k health. I mean, you know, it's like 12 off, you know. So, but it's right at 7k health, and you gain physical and spell resistance equal to the amount of healing or over healing done. So, this actually helps counteract your medium armor. But this is the big huge but. Any time that you need to proc your Alkosh, you need to make sure that you are on the back bar to proc your Alkosh. You never want to proc your synergies on your front bar because you're not going to get that Alkosh proc. Flip your bar and do your synergy, because it will proc your Alkosh on your back bar because that is your Alkosh. Okay, now back to the skills though. You want to use the Echoing Vigor on the back bar or front bar, whichever one you prefer. If you run your Warhorn, on the front bar, then you're going to proc it on your front bar, but it is only going to go to 5 of your group members that are within 10 meters of you when you set off your Warhorn. So you're only going to get 5. So when you proc this and you're in a group of 12, so your Warhorn hits 5. Okay, so your Warhorn, you set your Warhorn off, it gets 5. You want to flip. Alright, set your Warhorn off, you want to flip. You want to Echo Vigor 1 time. So that way 10 of the people that is around you is going to get it. So if there's your 8 DDs are around you and you're in the middle of all of them, you want to proc Echo once, move just a tad, proc Echo twice. The reason you want to proc it twice is because it's going to hit 10 members instead of 5. So this does put a strain on your stamina, but your stamina, as long as you are not blocking, your stamina is going to go up. But once you start blocking, your stamina is going to stop. So you need to stop blocking to let it build up. And as you're doing this, the more and more you get comfortable tanking, the more and more you're not going to block as much, and that's where Reinforce could come into play. So those are the other sets that I actually run. Ebon is one of them, but Ebon is not that very sought after anymore. It is not the go-to set for off tanks anymore. Your off tanks are mainly in powerful assault now. The other skills, I've got to hurry up guys, I don't know how long I've got. The skills, some of these skills I've got for PvE whenever I carry her over there to do the 50 transmutes, you know, yada 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 thing every month. That's how I get so many transmutes, and I don't care, you know, if I get invigorating sash of something that I've been wanting to try or whatever, you know, or that I have to have. So if I have time, I'll farm it. If not, I'll just get it in whatever and I'll transmute it. So this is how I get my 50 transmute crystals, is go over there, get them to tier 1, and then come out, and when at the end of the campaign I get my box or your geode for 50 crystals. So I put all 16 of my tunes through over in Cyrodiil, and I have 6 tanks. So that's like kind of crazy, but yeah, I do it. So I have the Flame Lash, it's for PvP areas, your Burning Embers, PvP. Engulfing Flames is one of them that you can use. A lot of them has changed it to the other morph to do poison, but it's very unuseful. But I do use it more in PvP areas than I do in regular PvE. Unrelenting grip, that is your chain, that's your pull. You have to have it. Carterize, it's one of them that is just situational type things. I have all my passives in Ardent Flame. Draconic Power, I have the Dragon Leap for PvP area. Hardened Armor, I use it if I don't have enough resistances, but I've learned to deal with it. And I've learned that I don't have to have, 32k cap resistance in order to make it. So, I don't. And I'll go over my character sheet here in just a few minutes. Choking Talons is your hold down. Your Dragon Blood is your burst heal, your main heal. Protective Plate, I use it in certain situations to where, yes, it can be blocked. Zamaja's crap in VCR can be blocked, like the Mind Blast. Deep Breath, it is one of your interrupts. It sets them off balance, and it interrupts and stuns the enemies. Like if you were in VKA or NKA, I know that one. VMAL helps at the Twins. It helps there to interrupt the ones that you need to in its area effect. You need all your passives in it. Earthen Heart, I have Magma Shield. This is one of them that you need to have on whenever you're going into groups that is not really experienced. And for you just learning, that is one of them that you need to have. That is one of them that really works well with everything. Stone Giant. It is another one that is used rarely. But certain situational, certain tanks, depends on if you're main or off, it depends on what you're doing is when you need to use it. Igneous Weapon, that increases this weapon and spell damage. And there's a little trick to this one, so if you want to know the little trick to it, I could probably teach you later on. But yeah. Your Igneous Shield, this is a shield that you will be using, so you would want to use your Igneous Shield and your Green Dragon Blood. That helps you heal more. It helps protect you. Cinder Storm, it's another one, it's situational type thing. It helps immobilize enemies. It just slows them down, like really slow, like 70%. So, and then your passives and all of that one. Alright, your one-handed shield. I have the ultimate in here, but I use it very rarely. It is situational. A lot of my skills are situational, but you have to have them in order to figure out when you can use them, when you can't use them. And there's a lot to learn, so... Ransack, I do Ransack instead of the other one. Heroic Slash. Defensive Stance. Shielded Assault. Shielded Assault is another one that is situational type, like if you're in VHOF and you're at the last boss, the general, and he like uppercuts you in the middle of next week, and you have to get back to him like really fast, so you've got to shield charge at him before he jumps. Yeah, so that's one of them that is a situational. That's one of the instances that you would use those. Now do not use Power Bash. And then you want all your passives in here. Destruction Staff, if you were going to use the Destruction Staff, you need it. Like I said, this one is just I've got the ultimate purchase for PvP areas. You want to use Crushing Shock. You need to have Crushing Shock, Elemental Blockade, Elemental Drain, and then your Pulsar. Your Pulsar is one of them that will actually help reduce it puts Minor Mangle and reduces their health. So any enemy that is hit with your Pulsar, their health is going to be dropped by 10% for 10 seconds. Alright, I do not put it in the Trifocus. because if I am the off tank and I am running an ice staff, I do not want to taunt the enemy or taunt the boss away from the main tank. So I do not put it in there. And plus, if you were caught on your back bar with the staff, you are going to be using magic to block with instead of stamina. So I do not put it in Tri-Focus, but I do put my passives in all the rest of them for your destruction staff. Okay, I've got them all in the medium armor because we do wear medium armor in occasions. So I have all my passives in the medium armor. I have all the heavy armor passives because we do wear heavy armor 9 times out of 10. Alright, and this one I am a werewolf on because I was going to do a werewolf tank. Alright, in your fighter's guild, you want the second ability down, not the ultimate, or not, it's the second ability, third ability down from the ultimate, and it was Circle of Protection to turn evil. This is one of them that you used in certain situations to help your group survive in certain areas. And then I've got Banish the Wicked and Intimidating Presence in the passives. Sigic Order. I have Time Freeze. This is a certain situational type thing. I've used it once or twice, but I don't really like it because I can't use it that much. Race Against Time is a #1 saver in Fast Hard mode because your Race Against Time is going to remove snares and immobilizations which Lothus puts on you. And if you step in the poison, you get immobilized and yada yada yada. So it cleanses it off and then you're fine to go. And it helps speed you up. Instead of your pots, if you don't want to use your pots, you can use this. But however, it is going to take up a slot on your ability. So just beware. And then of course I've got all the passives in here because it does give you the damage shield whenever you use it. Undaunted. I have every one of these purchased. You want to use Overflowing, Trapping Web, Inner Rage, Bone Surge, Energy Orb, and then you want your passives. Assault. I've got Aggressive Warhorn, Echoing Vigor. Yeah, I've got this purchased for PvP. And then Razor Caltrops. If you have an all stamina group running with you, this is what you want to use is Razor Caltrops. And plus, if you have a lot of enemies that are around and your trial has, or your dungeon has all enemies, like everywhere, like big mobs, and I do mean mobs, you can use this instead of puncturing every one of them and it puts the same effect on them. Your support. I have the Replenishing Barrier, so that way whenever it gives me back magic, it restores ultimate and gives me back magic. Then you need Efficient Purge, and then you're going to need Guard in certain situations. You can use Guard, but I don't have it leveled up all the way to have this passive. But this is the passive that you need out of here because each ability that you have slotted gives you the magic recovery. And then you're like I'm a Nord instead of a Dark Elf. I went from a Dark Elf to a Nord, and I've got every one of my passives in my class. The Alchemy, I have all of these in here. The main reason that I've got it is because of the medicinal use. When you're using your potions, resulting effects last 30% longer. You don't have to have them in all of this, but you need to have them in this right here, the medicinal use, because every time you drink a pot, it's going to last 30% longer. The blacksmithing, I just have them in here because I break stuff down and I don't want to have to get on my crafter and upgrade, you know, my armor or whatever, so I do have it in this one. And unraveling, I've got it in there. I've got it in the enchanting because, like I said, I don't want to just up and have to change whatever. Jewelry extracting, provisioning. Provisioning is another one that you need. You don't have to really make them, but you do need your gourmand and your connoisseur. Your gourmand adds 20 minutes to the duration of your food eaten, and a connoisseur adds 20 minutes to the duration of any consumed drink. So your food or your drink is going to last 20 minutes longer than what it normally does if you do not have it. And then of course the woodworking, I've got the stuff to where I can upgrade the woodworking. But I believe that is all, guys. If you have any questions, anything that you need to know, just holler at me. And as always, just hit the subscribe button on my YouTube. That way there'll be more to come. I'm going to be posting a lot more in the future. Thanks, guys. Alright. Hey guys, I forgot my stats. So this is my stats unbuffed. I have 64 into health. And then the Atronach boon is what I use. And then of course your Minor Slayer, which comes from your set. But these are my stats. As you can tell, my spell resistance and physical resistance is nowhere near 32k. Nowhere near 32k. So, when take the Bewitched Sugar Skulls, do you want to look at your stats again? Now this is my stats as of right now. Okay, I want to show you a little clip here in just a few minutes at how you can sustain and how you use your DK. I forgot that also. But this is your stats sitting at 35k health. My stamina is 20k. My max mag is 16, right at 17k. My mag recovery is 1571. But when you flip your bar, that was on my staff side. This is on your sword and board side, and which is it is still nowhere near 32k. But you can use your balance, and your physical and spell resistance goes up. So your balance has got to be cast every 3 seconds? No, every 30 seconds. So when you use your balance, it goes every 30 seconds. The 3 seconds is whenever you use your balance, it counts down to 3 seconds and you're not able to heal that much for 3 seconds. But any time after that, then your physical and spell resistance goes up for the remainder of the 30 seconds. So, but that is the physical and spell resistance. So, let's take off to, let's make sure that it's on vet. Group. Change to veteran. Alright, so I'm going to take you into Hell Raw. It's Sanctum. Bloodroot Forge. There's Hell Raw. So we're going to go into Hell Raw. And I'm going to go through and show you a little bit on how to use your tank. Okay, so now that we're in here, this is your map, and it does show that it's on veteran. Hell Raw Citadel on veteran. Y'all just sit back. I hope y'all enjoy.